Hey guys, Uncle Ray, welcome to another episode of the Crypto Bellwether. On this channel, we cut through the hype and the noise, and I give you the non-biased information you can use to hopefully capitalize on the biggest opportunity in history, and that is this current bull run. And I believe, and I could be wrong, that this is probably the last huge opportunity for the average person to make life-changing gains in crypto. Now, I have a financial background. I used to work for Bear Stearns. I've been around a long time. And I lived through 1987 crash, the 2000 dot-com crash, the 2008 real estate bubble. So, this is nothing new. And I have no doubt that that crypto is going to be a bubble, and that 98% of all tokens, if not 99.5% of all projects, are going to disappear because they're not needed. Now, I want to be clear. If this triggers you, just hear me out. It's the big picture, the long-term picture. Because for me, when I invest in anything, I want to take a bird's eye view. I want to zoom out, and I want to look at what's going on around the world, what history tells me, and I also want to look at all the competition. And that's one thing I see in crypto, is that people don't do any research from the big perspective. They'll zone in on their favorite project, and they might become tribal, and they're like, this project does this project does that, this project has this plan. Well, that's okay. But guys, every project has the same one. All the competitors have the same one. I invest in probabilities. And from my financial background and the history that I've seen, I truly believe that layer ones are pretty much not the place to put your money, and that there's only 3 major players right now in crypto that have a shot at being the future of, say, Web 3. Now, could I be wrong? Absolutely, but you need to hear me out. Now, when you zoom out and you look at what really matters in crypto, it's how much money does that project bring in for its ecosystem, and especially when it comes to layer ones. Guys, you can't measure a layer one standalone. I see it all the time. People say, oh, Bitcoin is this, Ethereum is that, it's old, it's slow. Okay, I get it, but we're not measuring just the ability of that layer one. We are measuring the ecosystem. And if you do some research on Wall Street and the governments and the legacy banks, you will realize they have a roadmap. Now, what makes you think that those entities that are the most powerful entities in the world are not going to win this next leg up? They're going to win. I'll give you an example. I eat a lot of Mexican, and there's a company called, it's a restaurant chain called Moe's. It's phenomenal food. I love it. I eat there every time I travel if I see one. And I don't know, they probably have 100 restaurants, and they're doing extremely well. But they will never, ever compete with like McDonald's, which I hate, or Wendy's. They're not going to be able to compete. So think about it from that perspective. Now, that being said, in my research, and a lot of high-level financial people from Wall Street that are getting into crypto would agree with me. And there's been multiple articles. If you Google it, do some research, and I highly recommend do your own independent, non-biased research, right? Type into Google whatever question you have and just say I don't care what the answer is. I don't have to be right. I just want to be correct in my thinking. And when I zoom out, I truly believe we do not need any more layer ones whatsoever. If every layer one disappeared, but the ones I'm about to bring to your attention, everything that we need to happen in crypto will be available through these ecosystems. So just hear me out. Now, that doesn't mean there are not going to be some layer ones launched maybe tomorrow that are the true, say, Ethereum killer. So keep that in mind. But based on the projects that are already out there, the layer ones, guys, we're not guessing anymore. If your layer one that maybe you think is better than the ones that I'm about to bring to your attention, if you think they are the future, well, then why are they not the future now? Every day that they are not taking the lion's share and getting more dominant, they're backing up. That tech is getting older. Meanwhile, the projects I'm going to bring to your attention are getting better, faster, more scalable, and they already make a huge amount of money for the ecosystem. So if you own the token, can you make money from that token? And people hate when I say stuff like this, but guys, I don't care what you think. I'm here to just bring things to your attention. Conversations like this really slow down the growth of this channel, but I can't tell you guys lies or misinformation or BS that I don't believe in. So I do my research for me. I share with my community. I don't have to be right. I want to be correct in my thinking. That being said, I truly believe from doing deep dives and having the knowledge that I have from, buying my first foreign currency in like 1990, that as it sits today, without something being launched newer, we don't need any more layer ones. So we're going to dive into 3 layer ones that I believe are the future as it sits. And if I don't talk about your favorite layer one, well, it probably is not showing the adoption and the fact that it makes money for the token holders. And when I say make money for the token holders, I'm not talking about just the token price going up. I'm talking about like total value locked and projects that give back to the community, and that if a developer wanted to build on that ecosystem, that developer would have the money coming in from that ecosystem to move into the future. And that gets into the price. A lot of times, guys, you think speed and 0.0001 price for a transaction is the future. But guys, it's all about profitability. Mr. Wonderful on the stock, the Mr. Wonderful from Shark Tank, he talked about, look, you got to look at crypto just like a software company, upstart software company. And if they're not making any money, they're probably going to die. So anyway, that being said, hit that like button. Let's dive into it. Okay, obviously, the first project that's not going anywhere in the ecosystem, that is not going anywhere, is Bitcoin. The layer 2s, like the Lightning Network and things like that, are coming through too, and it's growing and it's not going anywhere. And developers are moving into that ecosystem, and there's plenty of money. They don't have to get a grant from a foundation to survive. So I don't even think we need to really talk much about Bitcoin. Now, Ethereum. It's bizarre to me how people, in my opinion, very uninformed people, will tell you, oh, Ethereum's old tech, it's useless. Okay, well, what about Base? What about Arbitrum? What about Optimism? What about Polygon? Those projects are outperforming almost every layer one out there when you look at adoption and transactions and profitability. Well, guess what? Every one of those are built on Ethereum. Ethereum produces more profit in a week than 90% of all the layer 1s do in a year, and a lot of them since inception. And whether we like it or not, Wall Street loves the base layer, the security layer of Ethereum. So I believe when you fast forward 10 years from now, which I personally only invest bull run to bull run, Ethereum and its layer 2s and layer 3s and 4s and 5s that are going to come, they're going to sit on top of Ethereum. So don't measure your favorite layer 1, whether it's transactions like cross-border payments or gaming or whatever, they're going to build on Ethereum. And if you disagree with that, then why are they not doing it as we speak? The Ethereum ecosystem is exploding every single day. And now the gaming projects like XAI, which is a layer 3 built on Arbitrum, are starting to build gaming on what? Ethereum. For whatever that's worth, something to think about. Now, TON token. Now, guys, this is an up and coming. No one saw this, but hear me out on this. Here's the thing about starting any business. If you already have the customers, like think about it. I don't care if you're talking about a restaurant or a landscape company or a software company. If you already have, in Ton's case, billions of subscribers, well, when you launch something, you only have to cater to your customers. And it's going to be hard for people to come steal their customers. And now you've got a lot of projects that are coming out that are going to be built on Ton's ecosystem. I truly believe Ton is a sleeper and it is going to explode. Why? Because it already has the customers. Now, I truly believe that those three ecosystems, if everything died in crypto, I mean every project died in crypto or merged, they could merge into these three projects and the future of crypto would be the same as if all these other projects make it. Now, that being said, that doesn't mean there won't be a new Ethereum killer launch, and we'll talk about that in the future. That's the reason you might want to subscribe. But as it sits right now, guys, follow the adoption, follow the profitability, right? Follow the partnerships. And guys, again, and I'm not going to mention any names, but most people know it's XRP. You know, Ripple has phenomenal partnerships, but every partnership Ripple has, they make money with their supply. There's no use case hardly where the XRP retail holder can make any money. And developers are not moving in to Ripple's ecosystem, or not Ripple's ecosystem, to the XRP ledger. Now, a lot of people are going to go, oh, we have this partnership, this partnership, this partnership. Okay, but guys, it's all relative. Compare the developers building on whatever your favorite project is to Ethereum, to Bitcoin, to Ton. It's exploding. And then look at the adoption. Look at the money behind it. When BlackRock rolls into Ethereum to tokenize assets, which they have, guys, they have $11 trillion under management. Just if they only tokenize a fraction of their assets they have, not to mention the JP Morgans of the world and the Goldman Sachs, if they only tokenize a fraction, they will 100% have the dominant lion's share of tokenized assets. Okay, so that's just something to think about, guys, the big picture. Now, also, if a new layer 1 launches tomorrow, I may buy it. I want to talk about Kaspa, for instance. I love Kaspa. I love the tech. But when you look at the profitability you look at the developers, and you look at the adoption and the partnerships, guys, I don't see that it has a future to be the future of Web3. Now, that being said, I have a big fat bag of Kaspa, and I think it's going to do well. I love the grassroots part about it. I'm not here to throw FUD, but when you line up the developers and the team and the tech behind, say, a Kaspa, it's irrelevant. If it disappears tomorrow, it doesn't matter. And those guys are not going to compete with the power players that rule the world. And unless they start to roll into a Kaspa, it has no future. Now, that doesn't mean it can't pump immensely in this bull run. I think it's going to do well, and I think it has a huge upside for this bull run. 10 years from now, unless I see those different things change, it's not the future of crypto, for whatever that's worth. And again, guys, one thing about crypto, which actually takes the fun out of having a channel, is people call real conversations like this FUD. And they get their panties in a wad, but meanwhile, they're not making any money, right? Because they don't understand who the competition is. And if you don't zoom out, which I'm trying to share with you guys, and look at the big picture, well, good luck, guys. I say that with love. Now, that being said, I want to mention one other layer one, and that is Hedera. I love Hedera, and when you look at every single metric, it is dominating across the board. It's doing more transactions than any other layer one, and all the layer ones combined, it is killing it, but it does zero marketing. So if you're here for the money, that might not be your bet. And here's the reality of crypto. You know, Jamie Dimon at JP Morgan, who I do not like, kept saying blockchain is the future, but cryptos are a scam. And he kept saying it. Well, I didn't understand what he was talking about. So I kept deep diving because I wanted it to make sense. Well, the fact is, tokens are not needed. And if you have to buy a token in the future, let's fast forward 10 years, if you have to buy a token to do a transaction, why would you do that? When you're going to have, say, Bitcoin and Ethereum and a stable coin in your wallet. And you're going to be able to use something like Base, which is a layer 2 on Ethereum, connected with everything, probably going to be connected with the repo market, the Fed, and everything else. No token needed. And we're all going to have stable coins. The odds are that stable coin, which whether you want to hear this or not, is going to be USDC. That's why they're attacking USDT. The US government is attacking the threat, just like they attack Binance, just like they attack Ripple. They want to lead it in to where they dominate. And so in the big picture, guys, most projects don't need to be at $10, $100, $1,000, whatever the price point and the tokenomics are for that project, for them to do all those transactions in the future. And that's the ones that make it. But in the future, guys, the odds are you're not going to need anything but a stable coin in your wallet or in your bank account to do a transaction. Now, Hedera. Hedera is so dominant that I find it almost impossible that it is not the future of Web3. But is the Hedera token going to be at $10, $20, $100 in 10 years? I doubt it. Why? Because it doesn't need to be. And for the next, say, 10 years, I can't think of any token that needs to really pump to support the volume, right? Tokens are basically just a mechanism, and we are using them for speculation. You need to understand that. Anyway, guys, that's all I got for you. Let me know what you think in the comment section. I'm not here to spread FUD, but I want you to really look at the big picture. If a project is supposed to be a world beater, and it doesn't have the adoption, and it's not making any money, right? How is it going to survive? Most layer ones and most projects for that matter are funded by the foundations. Look at Algorand. Love Algorand. Great project. It may survive, but it's not going to make you any money. They're almost fully diluted. And when the foundation stops funding those developers, well, Algorand makes zero money to speak of. Ethereum makes more money in a week, probably in a day, than Algorand makes in a year for its ecosystem. I don't see how Algorand has a future as an investment. It may stick around. A lot of these projects may stick around and do okay, but that doesn't mean you should be buying Algorand. And if you do buy any of the layer ones or any project, look at them as meme coins. When they start to pump, start taking your profits and cover. Because 10 years from now, the odds are whatever project, if it's not one of the 4 that I just mentioned, or 5, including Kaspa, if it's not a new project, it's probably going to disappear. Or if it's still here, like an Algorand. Our Algorand may be around for 20 years, but the token is still at 25 cents and will never go any higher. And it's not needed. No matter how good the tech or whatever comes out, everything that crypto needs, whether it's metaverse or whatever, can be built on these ecosystems. And these are the front runners. Again, guys, ask yourself, quit listening to the hype, quit listening to these influencers that just tell you what you want to hear and never tell you conversations like this. I mean, sometimes, guys, when I make videos like this, I find it humorous. I lose subscribers for telling you the truth or just asking the question. And if you're following influencers that never have told you a negative thing about your favorite project, you need to stop listening to those people. But hey, if you don't, it's all good, guys, because in crypto, it's man to man. If someone pulls out $1 million out of an ecosystem, they took it from hundreds of thousands of people, or a lot of people, right? That's why there's so much money to be made in crypto. The top 10% make all the money from the 90%. If the majority were right, the majority would be rich. And the majority are making videos telling you what you want to hear. And they hook you in, they get you tribal, and you keep coming back. Every time your account goes down, and you're like, oh my God, my 10,000 is worth 4,000. Now it's worth 3,000. But they keep going to those influencers that say, hey, keep staying there. And have you noticed they moved their timeline out? Guys, you make life-changing gains in crypto outside of Bitcoin and Ethereum, bull run to bull run. Cryptos are not 10-year, 20-year bets. Because again, guys, go study the 2000.com bubble and you'll see. Now, I'm going to give you one last example, then I'll let you go. Amazon, when they did their IPO, it was so overvalued. It took 10 years for them to hit a new all-time high. 10 years. Are you willing to wait 10 years to maybe get back to where you bought Amazon before? That doesn't make any sense. And think about it, guys. Out of the dot-com bubble, there was thousands, and I mean thousands of projects, just like there's 2.5 million cryptos now that are going to disappear. Out of those thousands of companies, the only real companies that made it was Amazon, Apple, Microsoft, Google, and a handful more. There was the Enrons of the world that were world beaters. They disappeared. And then a lot of them are still around, but they're just trading sideways for 20 plus years. Whatever that's got worth, guys. Anyway, let me know what you think in the comment section. Hit that like button. And guys, look, again, if you think FUD, if you call stuff FUD that has merit, like what we just talked about, good luck to you. And just remember these type videos and come back in the next bull run when you realize, wait a minute, how did I not make any money in the biggest opportunity in history? You listen to the wrong people that told you what you want to hear. Guys, I'm non-biased. I don't care what you buy. I do this research for me. I know this information. But zoom out and compare your projects to all the competitors. And the competitors are the governments, Wall Street, and the legacy banks. And they're winning, guys. They're winning. Hit that like button. Come back. Be part of this community. Take care, guys.